It could have been you, it could have been me, it could have been anyone we know, it could have been loved ones. And for those on board flight 9W697, it could have been a whole lot worse. Jet Airways today put the safety, security of passengers at risk. This was flight 9W697 from Mumbai to Jaipur, which had to turn back to Mumbai after taking off after a sudden loss in cabin pressure, which led to passengers bleeding from their noses and ears. There was chaos and panic in the flight cabin. As the flight took off, the crew, if you can believe it, forgot to select a switch, due to which cabin pressure inside the passenger area could not be maintained. As a result, oxygen masks got deployed. Out of the 166 passengers on board, around 30 started bleeding from their noses and ears. Some also complained of a very sharp headache. 5 patients have been brought to the Nanavati hospital, and they're all suffering from barotrauma, which is an injury in the lungs and ears caused by change in air pressure. They've been advised not to fly for at least a whole week. Meanwhile, Jet Airways has released a statement saying that the cockpit crew has been de-rostered and a probe has been ordered. Civil Aviation Minister Suresh Prabhu has taken cognizance of the incident and has ordered the Civil Aviation Regulator, the DGCA, to file a report immediately on this issue.
The Mumbai to Jaipur Jet Airways flight has landed in Jaipur. With me right now are several passengers who have come out and are in a situation of shock. If I were to ask you what actually happened inside the flight, what was your experience?
Well, the experience is of course not too pleasant. You wake up in the morning at 3 o'clock to get to the airport, and the entire journey, well, maybe technical glitches are part and parcel of life. It's more how you manage the situation. We were completely left in the dark. There was no information. When you travel with an airline like Jet, you kind of expect professionalism to come to the core. That was lacking. So once the cabin pressure dropped and the oxygen mask came out, for about 30 minutes till the flight landed back, there was no information.
Right. What kind of ordeal did you have to face?
What kind of ordeal we had? So a lot of people were suffocated. I myself was feeling suffocated. A lot of people bled from their nose, from their ears. And of course, at that point in time, like he said, there was no information at all that was being given to them. We were not told that that's a technical glitch. We were just told that the plane is landing. But Ahmedabad land ho raha hai, Mumbai airport land ho raha hai. कोई आइडिया ही नहीं था until the plane landed. Of course, post that we were put into another flight for which 20 मिनट तक I think उसमें भी ventilation नहीं था, as in there was the AC was not working. वो suffocating था, but eventually we landed.
These are the passengers who have come out from the Jet Airways flight, and clearly not a good experience for them. They clearly have mentioned that it was the cabin crew members were not calming them down and took the passengers to calm each other down, and perhaps it was clearly a bad experience that they would want to forget as soon as possible. With camera person Nikhil Sharma, Devankur Vadhavan in Jaipur, India Today.
And before I go to anybody else, before I go to the experts here on 5 Live, I want you to hear the voice of one of those 166 passengers who was on board flight 9W697. Sakha Mitra Ashwin joins me live from Rajasthan, where the flight finally was able to land. Thank you, sir, for speaking to India Today. If you can take us in detail through what happened once the aircraft took off. Tell us in detail what happened, sir.
मैं आपसे ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि जेट एयरवेज का जो मेरा एक्सपीरियंस रहा है आज का, उसके बारे में एक बात बोलता हूँ. जब मैंने बोर्डिंग पास लिया, उसमें मेरा बोर्डिंग पास निकालने के बाद में उन्होंने रिक्वेस्ट किया कि आप इस फ्लाइट में ट्रेवल मत करिए. बोर्डिंग पास निकाल के उन्होंने अपने पास रख लिया. मुझे 5 मिनट तक उन्होंने कन्विंस किया कि आप इसमें ट्रेवल मत करिए सर, क्योंकि हमें किसी और को भेजना है. उसके बाद मैंने उनसे कहा मेरा खुद का वहाँ पे एक शूट है और मेरा खुद का वहाँ पे एक काम है जयपुर में, बहुत अर्जेंट एक कॉन्फ्रेंस भी है मेरा, इसलिए मेरा जाना जरूरी है. तो मैंने बोर्डिंग पास उन्होंने मुझे दिया, और जब फ्लाइट टेक ऑफ कर गई, उसके बाद में बिना किसी इंफॉर्मेशन के, बिना किसी भी एक भी व्यक्ति ने, क्रू मेंबर ने अनाउंसमेंट नहीं हुआ और ऑक्सीजन मास्क नीचे आ गए. तो सभी लोग इस बात की चिंता में थे कि अचानक क्या हुआ है. हेलो
जी बोलिए.
कोई भी नहीं समझ पाया कि हुआ क्या है. और करीब करीब आप देखिए कि 5-10 मिनट तक कोई भी रेस्पॉन्स किसी क्रू ने या कोई भी अनाउंसमेंट नहीं हुआ। सभी लोग शॉक थे कि हुआ क्या है और एकदम सारे मास्क नीचे कैसे आ गए। इन द मीन टाइम सभी लोगों को परेशानी होनी शुरू हुई और सांस लेने में दिक्कत लेनी शुरू हुई। कुछ लोग सो रहे थे, वो जगे कम सांस होने की वजह से, तो रेस्टलेस हो गए। मैं खुद इस चिंता में था, चूंकि मैं फ्रीक्वेंट ट्रेवल करता हूँ, नेशनल और इंटरनेशनल ट्रेवल करता हूँ। मैंने लोगों से कहा, मैं देखिए ऑक्सीजन मास्क है तो आप उसको लगाइए। मैंने लगाया, मेरे पास बैठे थे उन सब लोगों को मैंने बताया। इन द मीन टाइम एक अनाउंसमेंट होती है कि हम लैंड कर रहे हैं, सूरत में लैंड कर रहे हैं, बड़ौदा में कर रहे हैं, अहमदाबाद में कर रहे हैं, बॉम्बे जा रहे हैं। क्या प्रॉब्लम है, किसको प्रॉब्लम है, किसकी क्या स्थिति है, किसी को कोई कंसर्न नहीं है। कोई लाइट्स नहीं जल रही थी, सारी लाइट्स ऑफ थी, सारे लोग शॉक थे और सारे लोग डिप्रेशन में और एक अजीब सी स्थिति में थे जहाँ सांस लेने में सबको दिक्कत होने लगी। कुछ लोगों ने ऑक्सीजन मास्क लगाए, मैंने भी लगाया, लेकिन उसमें भी ऑक्सीजन उतनी नहीं थी मुझे आराम आ सके। सेम ऐसी स्थिति बहुत सारे लोगों की थी जी। उसके बाद में प्लेन चलता रहा, कोई कैबिन क्रू मेंबर नहीं आया, किसी ने कोई अनाउंसमेंट नहीं किया। ब्लैक बॉक्स में से इंस्पेक्ट करके रिपोर्ट निकाली जा सकती है कि किसी भी पैसेंजर को इन्फॉर्म नहीं किया गया कि लैंड कर कहाँ पे रहे। लैंड कर रहे हैं, हम तो पिकनिक पे तो नहीं गए थे। लैंड टेक ऑफ करने के बाद में लैंड कहाँ कर रहे हैं कोई सूचना नहीं दी और फिर बॉम्बे एयरपोर्ट पे प्लेन फाइनली लैंड हुआ तो लोगों की सांस में सांस आई। इन द मीन टाइम 30-32 लोगों को, जहाँ तक मैं सबको नहीं आइडेंटिफाई कर सकता, बहुत सारी परेशानी थी, जिनके खुद के ब्लड आना शुरू हो गया नाक में से जी, और परेशान हो गए। एयरपोर्ट पे जाने के बाद कोई भी अथॉरिटी, कोई भी एम्बुलेंस, कोई भी डॉक्टर, कोई भी रेस्पॉन्सिबल पर्सन फ्लाइट लैंड करने के बाद में बस में बैठने के पहले हमें नहीं मिला। ऐसे जैसे नॉर्मल फ्लाइट लैंड करती है वैसे ही वो लैंड की जी। नॉर्मल लोग उतरते हैं वैसे ही परेशान लोग उतर रहे थे और बस में बैठ रहे थे जी, जी। फिर हमें लेके गए वो एयरपोर्ट के ऊपर, जो टर्मिनल 2 वर्ल्ड क्लास एयरपोर्ट जिसको लोग कहते हैं, जो मैं आज एक कहता हूँ आपके चैनल के माध्यम से कि वर्ल्ड क्लास कोई भी एयरपोर्ट डेकोरम से, ऑर्नामेंटली उसको डेकोरेट करने से नहीं होता है, कस्टमर की सर्विस से होना चाहिए। बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। कस्टमर की सर्विस क्या होती है, ये जीवी के एयरपोर्ट की अथॉरिटीज को भी मैं कहना चाहता हूँ इस मंच के माध्यम से, नरेश गोयल जी को कहना चाहता हूँ कि आपकी एयरलाइन बेस्ट एयरलाइन है। क्लाइंट आपके यहाँ ट्रेवल करते हैं, लेकिन कोई डिजास्टर की स्थिति में, एडवर्स सर्कमस्टांसेस की स्थिति में आपके यहाँ पे कोई डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट के लोग हैं।
सकमित्रा जी, ऐसे बहुत सारे इंसिडेंट्स हुए हैं एयरलाइंस में, इंडिया और फॉरेन में भी, और आप काफी इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल भी कर चुके हैं, जिनमें ये कैबिन प्रेशर का मामला काफी डेंजरस हो सकता है। इस इंसिडेंट में कुछ ब्लीडिंग हुआ है, कुछ पैसेंजर्स को ब्लीडिंग हुआ है, but in other incidents there have been accidents, there have even been deaths as a result of cabin pressure loss. So isn't that a real concern, sir?
मैं अभी आपसे बता रहा हूँ, अभी मैं जिनके साथ ट्रेवल कर रहा हूँ वो अमेरिका से आए हुए खुद डॉक्टर है और वर्ल्ड की अथॉरिटी है। उनको जब मैंने इंसिडेंट बताया तो उन्होंने ये कहा मुझे कि अगर ये कुछ और डिले होता तो बहुत बड़े लेवल पे कैजुअलिटीज हो सकती थी। और एयरपोर्ट पे आने के बाद मैं आपको बताता हूँ मित्र कि किसी को नहीं पड़ी है एयरलाइन में, जेट एयरवेज के स्टाफ में, कोई भी हमें क्लियर पिक्चर नहीं दी। डॉक्टर जो आया वहाँ पे 200 लोगों की हमारे ग्रुप में, पानी तक सर्व नहीं किया गया किसी को। कोई डिप्रेशन में है तो उसको पानी पिला के पूछ ले वो कैसा है। एक व्यक्ति खड़ा था, उसने बोला मैं किसी को बुला के लाऊंगा जैसे हम कोई बारात में आए हुए। और एक डॉक्टर आया, उनके भी एप्रन नहीं पहना हुआ था, वो नॉर्मल ड्रेस में थे, जिनको आइडेंटिफाई करना मुश्किल है कि डॉक्टर है। न उनके पास में कोई चेकिंग इक्विपमेंट थे, न ब्लड प्रेशर चेक करने की मशीन थी, न स्टेथोस्कोप था, वो नॉर्मल खड़े हुए थे, मैं डॉक्टर हूँ। ये मेरे बात समझ में नहीं है कि जीवी के जैसे सेंसिटिव नंबर 1 एयरपोर्ट के ऊपर इस तरह की कॉमेडी होती है जो ट्रैवल करते हैं उन लोगों के साथ।
This is shocking. This is really shocking. Sakamitra ji, we are going to ask, हमारे चैनल के माध्यम से आपका मैसेज जा रहा है to the ministry, to the government, to the airports, to the authorities there. I want you to stay with me, sir, just for a few more minutes, because we are putting out the hard questions. I know you're traveling, but I request you to stay with me for just 4-5 more minutes, because 5 of the passengers who Sakamitra Ashwin were traveling with are currently undergoing treatment at a hospital for those nosebleeds. They're suffering from barotrauma, which is caused by pressure, the sudden loss of cabin pressure caused by what happened in that Jet Airways flight. Let's listen into a doctor from the Nanavati hospital.
नानावटी में अभी 5 पेशेंट आए हैं जेट एयरवेज के फ्लाइट में जो इंसिडेंट हुआ उसके उपलक्ष्य में। अभी हमारे यहाँ पे जो 5 पेशेंट थे उनको बैरोट्रॉमा जिसको कहते हैं मेडिकल लैंग्वेज में बैरोट्रॉमा, एयर प्रेशर का केबिन प्रेशर चेंज हुआ इसलिए जो ट्रॉमा होता है उसके साथ। तो उन सबको हम हमारे जो डॉक्टर है ENT कंसल्टेंट उनको देख रहे हैं, एग्जामिन कर रहे हैं।
वो मैं समझता हूँ कि एक एरर ऑफ जजमेंट है पायलट की तरफ से, पर तब भी जो प्रोसीजर है उसमें आफ्टर टेक ऑफ चेक होता है कि ब्लीड वाल्व ऑन। ओके, मुझे लगता है कहने के पायलट ने जो है वो प्रोसीजर फॉलो नहीं किया।
Okay, we have Sakamitra Ashwin, who is a passenger who was on board flight 9W697. He's going to continue to tell us what happened. He has complaints not just about the negligence of Jet Airways, but also about what happened at the airport once the aircraft landed. Our passengers really just treated like fodder. They are treated like nothing, no information, no facilities. They are not even given the common courtesy of a little bit of an update as to what is really happening. Also joining me this evening is Group Captain Panesar. He's a well-known aviation commentator and expert. Also with me, India Today's Nagarjun Dwarkanath, who apart from being a journalist is also a qualified civil pilot. And Polami Saha, who's been tracking the Civil Aviation Ministry. Thank you to all of you for joining me on a story that connects to all of us and affects all of us, because this is about aviation and all of us take flights all the time. But what happens? Let me break it down for you to its most basic, ladies and gentlemen. What happens? Our ears pop when we go into an aircraft. We know what cabin pressure is. But what happens when cabin pressure is not regulated inside an aircraft? Take a look at what it can do to your body. Fallen cabin pressure hits oxygen flow to the lungs. Passengers with lung and heart ailments are especially vulnerable. There can be soft tissue injuries. There can be bleeding, which is what happened to many of the passengers on board this Jet Airways flight. An increase in heartbeat because of the panic situation. Lack of oxygen in lung tissues can lead to very, very adverse health conditions. The ability to think and respond gets affected because of the lack of oxygen flow, and this can have other health effects as well. And remember, what happened today should not be underestimated. It should not be understated. It could have been a whole lot worse. It's not just one small little thing. Take a look at air mishaps that have taken place in other countries as a result of cabin pressure issues. In 2005, a Helios aircraft crashed into a mountain in Greece, killing 115 passengers. The official investigation into the incident found that pressurization system had been left in manual gear, causing cabin pressure to drop and the pilots to fall unconscious as they suffered from hypoxia. In 2008, 16 passengers on a Ryanair flight from Bristol to Barcelona had to be taken to hospital after a drop in cabin pressure. In 2018, 33 passengers from a Ryanair flight were hospitalized after their aircraft similarly lost cabin pressure and were forced to make an emergency landing. You've got headaches, you've got all sorts of incidents. In October last year, 25 minutes after it took off, cabin pressure dropped in an Air Asia Indonesia bound flight and the plane plummeted from 35,000 feet to 10,000 feet in a matter of minutes. The reason I give you all these instances today, ladies and gentlemen, is because loss of cabin pressure is not a minor issue in the air. It can happen at any time, and today has been proven to be another act of negligence by a particular airline. One of the passengers on board that flight, 9W697, Sakamitra Ashwin, is still with me, but I want to go to Group Captain Panesar first. Group Captain Panesar, who is responsible for this, sir? How can someone forget to throw a switch that regulates the cabin pressure? Isn't this criminal negligence, sir?
First of all, let me tell you, I'm not group captain.
Yes,
I'm
Captain
Panesar from Indian Airline, ex-director of flight safety. Well, we must understand first what is the pressurization. See, when the aircraft takes off and climbs to altitude like 31,000, 33,000 feet and all that, the cabin is pressurized to climb a very slow rate at 500 feet per minute to maximum 8,000 feet, which is normal bearable altitude for every passenger. Where the aircraft climbs to 31,000, cabin is at 8,000 feet. But sometimes, due to technical fault, if the pack valve goes to full closed position, there is an immediate heavy flow of air inside the cabin to make the cabin climb immediately to 8,000 feet. That is what causes the pressurization fault, and in such a case, the pilots have to look into the valve position, and there are switches by which you can control the position of the valve and control the flow of the air inside such a heavy flow.
What is it, sir? Whose fault is it then?
One is manual AC and one is manual DC. Well, it's a human error on the part of the pilot.
Exactly.
He should have immediately gone to manual control on DC, because with the DC the valve opens very slowly.
Yes.
And if you put on AC, the valve will close very fast, which is very dangerous. Now he should control the position of the valve and slow down the flow of the air, because the air is pumped very heavily into the cabin to make it rise immediately to 8.5 psi. It's a very rare incident, not happen every day, but we do give. I'm sure Jetway must be training pilots on the simulator.
No, I'm
this
sure.
This exercise is not done on the normal.
That's the reason why there is so much shock among passengers and flyers everywhere, sir. I want to bring in Nagarjun as well. Naga, you are a pilot. You know, you know exactly what Jet Airways is talking about and what the experts are talking about right now. Just take us through the step-by-step process of what pilots and cabin professionals need to do to ensure this kind of thing doesn't happen, and what went wrong in this case, Naga.
Well, firstly, in fact, when I heard the passengers saying that the pilots and the crew didn't inform them as to what was happening, clearly because there are 1,000 other things that the pilots are doing inside the cockpit. The pilots have always been told that they fly first, navigate next, and only communicate later. Communication comes in the last part, and to inform the passengers. Maybe also, if at all, they told the passengers that there was a cabin depressurization, there would have been panic inside the cabin also.
Right.
So all this taken into consideration, most probably that is the reason why the pilots had to give out the information in a trickling way. And also what we are hearing today from our sources is that the normal procedure, if it's a heavy load takeoff or completely full, heavy passenger takeoff, that in Boeing 737, what they do is they cut off the bleed air just during the roll or the takeoff to the
Okay, we've lost that connection with Naga. We'll go back to him, but I want to get in a word from what the government is planning to do. And the Civil Aviation Watchdog, Poulomi, is in touch with the Civil Aviation Ministry. A probe has been ordered, Poulomi, but what happens next? Is this going to be serious enough to actually cause some action?
Well, for the moment, the Ministry of Aviation has taken cognizance of this event, and the Minister himself has asked for an inquiry report. So the Aircraft Accidents Investigation Bureau, the AIB, will be investigating into this matter. The DGCA has to file a report, and that should be put on the Minister's desk immediately. And of course, what the Minister has also ordered is a comprehensive safety audit, which will assess the security parameters and the safety parameters at all scheduled airlines, at aerodromes, at flight training schools, at MROs, and then of course a report will be prepared by the DGCA. This will commence immediately. It will be prepared within a span of the next month, and then it will be put to the Minister. And of course, if there are any lacunae, any deficiencies as far as the safety audit is concerned, which they come across as they conduct it, then they are supposed to take corrective measures about the same. Though of course this is not something out of the ordinary, because there are safety audits which are conducted time and again. It's a routine procedure.
Yes.
And as far as this incident is concerned, Shiv, what they're asking is that this is an incident of human error. What is the safety audit of the airline going to achieve?
Absolutely. And I want to end this show by putting out the voice once again of the passenger who was on board that flight. Sankamitra Ashwin is still with us. Sankamitra ji, a probe has been ordered, a safety audit order kiya gaya hai by the Civil Aviation Ministry. Aapka kya message hai? What is your message to the Civil Aviation Minister and to Jet Airways management, sir?
मेरा सिंपल मैसेज है, जेट एयरवेज खुद इसके लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल है. उसके साथ में अगर प्लेन लैंड कर चुका है तो एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटी, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया और जो वहाँ पे स्टाफ है पूरे एयरपोर्ट का, जो टर्मिनल 2 इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा एयरपोर्ट है, सबसे सुंदर एयरपोर्ट है, अगर वहाँ पे डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट के लोग होंगे, रेगुलर बेसिस पे ट्रेनिंग होगी, HR डिपार्टमेंट ने रिक्रूटमेंट के साथ साथ में ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम प्रॉपर होने चाहिए, जिससे कस्टमर सेटिस्फेक्शन क्या होता है, अगर एक परेशान आदमी उतरता है, उसको स्ट्रेचर मिल जाता है सोने के लिए, डॉक्टर मिल जाता है, पीने को पानी मिलता है, तब भी उसको थोड़ा मेंटल सपोर्ट मिलता है कि मेरे लिए कोई है। वहाँ से एयरपोर्ट से वो बस से लेके गए, उसमें 5 से 7 मिनट लगे, उसमें 4 लोगों की तबीयत ज्यादा खराब हुई होगी।
बिल्कुल।
एयरपोर्ट के पास में एम्बुलेंस और स्ट्रेचर और डॉक्टर।
We are going to follow this story, sir. You know, thank you for speaking to us, Sakumitra ji, to Captain Panesar, Polomi and Nagarjun for joining me on this story. It's an important story because this is very, very close to home. This affects all of us, our near and dear ones. We fly all the time. We know people who fly. This could happen. And we've just shown you how loss of cabin pressure isn't a minor issue. It can actually lead to injury, death and accidents in the air. And therefore, this negligence cannot go overlooked.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.